In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Yes, they've lost back-to-back finals. This is the Moroccan side. Ladies, the WAFCON team, they want to make it to this or a very big tournament to see if they can get something right for themselves. I don't know if that would work, but we'll see how it goes. Now, this is Gianluca Prestiani. He claimed that Vinicius Jr. called him a dwarf. Well, regardless of all of these things, I don't think that holds water. Mexico will host the 26th World Cup despite the current situation. President Claudia Sheinbaum states that no risk will be taken and all guarantees are in place for Chelle'S to host its match as planned. We'll see how that pans out for FIFA World. And then this. Congratulations to Newcastle United. Yesterday they got the better of Qarabag, but this is a problem. Votamata is not happy with his position and also with the club side. He might be leaving, just maybe. Joelinton is also doing so well in that role. This is the Bordeaux Glimpse, people. And on the show this morning, I'm feeling like a man from the Bordeaux. Can you glimpse me some of the news about these guys? Holga, good result. This is just what they do to big teams. 3-1 against Man City, 2-1 against Atletico de Madrid away, and then 3-1 against Inter Milan. That record is great. Holga Jens Peter, he's just on fire. Look at the goal. Brace, go, 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 go. Just keep going, going. It's all about the Bordeaux Glimpse people. And officially, Bayer Leverkusen will play Bayern Munich or Arsenal in the next stage of the Champions League. We'll see how it pans out. Let's watch and see how it comes to power. And this is Newcastle. They will play Barcelona or Chelsea in the next stage of the UEFA Champions League. Big one for Eddie. And how can he do it? We'll see. But also, this is the bad news for Italian football. The state of Italian football right now in jeopardy of missing 10 straight World Cups. Scudetto holders Napoli knocked out in the Champions League stage. Current Serie A leaders Inter Milan also dominated. Bayern, Bono claimed, and Atalanta and Juventus both lost their playoff game by 2+ goals and are on the verge of elimination. An Italian team haven't won the Champions League back since 2009-2010 season. And this is the big one coming up tonight. Please, I beg you, don't miss. Vinicius Junior against Otamendi. You could say Arbeloa against Mourinho. And that's how we'll start. So, it's a very big game, we should be saying. And also, welcome. Yes, welcome. Feeling very great to have you join us today. Welcome to the Sports Republic show right on TV, Lagos, Nigeria. Voice of the People Television. It's time for us to give you a news, sporting activities, all that transpired yesterday, and also those just unfolding at this point in time, more like breaking. Yes, we have to tell you, Norwegian Bodo Glimt have produced one of the biggest upsets in the Champions League history as they knocked out last year's finalists Inter Milan to reach the last 16 for the first time. And then back at the San Siro, where he had, 2 difficult years at AC Milan, Jens Peter Hauge scored an opener and then assisted Hakon Evans' second goal, and the visitors also claimed a stunning success and a very victory in that very game. They will face either Man City or Sporting CP in the last 16. And Inter Milan are 3-time champions of the competition and currently sit 10th position, 10 points clear at the top of the Serie A, which made them overwhelming favorite to this game for this knockout round playoff tie. But Bodo Glimt, who are still in their off-season in Norway, have earned themselves a reputation of producing a result against the odds during the Champions League debut, campaigning and enjoyed another famous performance, I must say. You could call it 5-star performance. They faced an expected barrage of attack from the home side on Tuesday, and we thought Fatesi, the Hakashina Logo, Nicolo Barella, all of these guys could turn out a 2-goal deficit, but of course they never did. They prepared the Bodo goal in the first half, but the rest of the visitors repelled the most of the attack, with goalkeeper Nikata on hand to deal with any efforts on target, and good result for the Norwegian side. He made 2 early crucial saves, first stepping off Federico De Marcos called the strike before keeping out Davide Fatesa to go bound, and that's a goal-bound effort. But then came Bodo Glimt's memorable moment in the 58th minute when Manuel Akanji lost the ball to Ole Didrik Blomberg, who then charged into the box, and then although his shot was saved superbly by Jan Sommer, then Holger was there to volley home the rebound. It was the 6th Champions League goal. You could see him winning the man of the match in that very game. You could say MOTM, anyone works for me. The most of a Norwegian, the most by a Norwegian player for a Norwegian club in a single competition. That's what he does. This is what he likes to do. But Akanji came close to making amends for his mistake when he shouts, I think his shot just hit the post. But Bodo Glimt crushes the hopes of Christian Cable's side completely. So no result for them. Holger played a great ball into the box to Avon, who took a touch before firing an excellent finish beyond Sommer. And Alexander Bastoni gave Inter the faintest gleam of hope 4 minutes later when they scrambled home to half the deficit of the night. But ultimately, the host, beaten by Paris Saint-Germain in last season showpiece, had too much to do as Bodo Glimt held firm to become the first Norwegian side to progress in the knockout stage tie in Europe's elite club competition since Lindstrom did that back in 1987-1988 campaign. Newcastle right now, before we get to Newcastle, let's talk about Bodo Glimt. Yes, yeah. It's really worth talking about Bodo Glimt. Let's talk about Bodo Glimt at this point in time. I love what I saw yesterday. Bodo Glimt has got quality. They have the power to dominate teams. They have the resolution. They have the resilience, the determined quality team. They love this transitioning power. I love Bodo Glimt. Everyone is seeing them like the underdogs. Most people say when they go play at home, when they play at home, the stadium doesn't look that so big. So they understand it's more like the old Arsenal hybrid. But that's not true. You should give record to academy side. If you watch Bodo Glimt play, go check their structure from where they started from. You would understand they're off-season. So it's more like they're playing the preseason in the Champions League. That's what you could say. But the structure of the coach, what he has done, what he has brought, result of got it got me happy. It got me laughing. I'm so excited to see a Mino team, that's the word. The Aminos, first Norwegian side to get to this phase after, Lindstrom did it back in 1987-1988 season. Now, you must reckon with the Bodo Glimt side. If there's anything they've done right now, they'll put pressure on anybody that gets to me. They don't care who you are. Man City, Atletico de Madrid, Inter Milan now, A-class teams in top-flight football, they've crushed them out. So what more can be said about Bodo Glimt? You should celebrate a team like Bodo Glimt because they've done it all well. I love Bodo Glimt, and I'm really happy with the way they are going. And trust me, they play without pressure. They've got absolutely nothing to lose. Just go there, play the game, get the result you deserve, and just do what you love to do, and that pays off. So we have to hope and wait to know if Bodo Glimt to go past this level. They've crushed Inter Milan recently. We've heard the news about City and then also Atletico de Madrid. So we must say, Holga, good team they have there and good team they will always have. We wish them all of the best as they triumph further. But let's get to another one that happened yesterday, the review of the games. Newcastle United took their place in the last 16 of the Champions League for the first time after beating Qarabag 3-2 at St. James Park on Tuesday, a 9-3 aggregate win. The outcome was never in doubt after Newcastle trashed Qarabag 6-1 in the fourth leg of the playoff in Baku last week, but expectation of a second goal proved short-lived after a promising start. Newcastle were 2-0 up with the fans in full party mode after 6 minutes. 2 goals coming in the space of 80 seconds from Sandro Tonali in the second, I think that's the second minute. So Sandro Tonali in the 4th minute, right? And then Joe Linton also on the volley in the 6th. But you need to talk about, unlike in Baku, where we saw Newcastle, they were trashed. They were already 5-0 up, at halftime. But the Magpies then eased off and allowed Qarabag back onto the match as they expect a second leg thrashing failed to materialize. Camilo Duran pulled a goal back for the visitors in the 50th minute, but Newcastle responded instantly with a powerful header. And that was from Steven Botman, scoring his first Champions League goal 2 minutes later. Manager Eddie Howe brought Anthony Gordon, the 4-goal hero, for the first leg off the bench in the 54th minute in place of Joe Linton. The winner scored at 3-1 at that time, but the change had little impact. The scoreline became 3-2 3 minutes later when Elvin, scored off a left-footed shot after Aaron Ramsdale had saved the penalty from Marko Jankovic following a downborn handball. Newcastle will now play Barcelona or Chelsea in the knockout stages. So we have to wait. Qualify Newcastle, good result they got for themselves. Good one to see English clubs are dominating the Champions League phase. And let's get into this one again. Super Eagles players, 2 of them, 2 Super Eagles players, Rafael Onyedika and also Bruno Onyemaechi have been, I'm so sorry to say this, have seen the Champions League campaign come to an end following a disappointing result in the knockout playoff tie on Tuesday night. But Onyedika was also absent and the Club Brugge side were beaten 4-1 by Atletico de Madrid in Spain. The deficit just couldn't match out there because that defeat right now, you could say, sealed the 7-4 aggregate victory for Diego Simeone's side after the first leg had ended in a dramatic 3-3 draw in Belgium. Atletico took control midway through the first half when Alexander Sørloth outscored his marker before flying past Simon Mignolet. Although Club Brugge briefly fought back to level the tie on aggregate through Joe Denez after a Brandon Michel flick on, the hosts regained dominance and momentum after the break. Johnny Cardoso restored Atletico Madrid lead with a fine strike from edge of the box early in the second half. Sørloth then added 2 more goals, 1 from close range after a neat exchange involving substitutes Ademola Lookman and then Antoine Griezmann, and another from a late corner to complete his hat-trick and end Club Brugge's resistance. The result ended Atletico Madrid's impressive unbeaten run in regulation time of the Champions League knockout matches and also secured their place in the round of 16 where they will face either Liverpool or Tottenham Hotspur. Despite missing out on the decisive clash due to suspension, Rafael Onyedika had played a key role in the first leg and was one of Club Brugge's standout performer in that competition this season. But meanwhile, Super Eagles defender Bruno Onyemaechi, this another game that we saw yesterday. Galatasaray will be playing today, but let's talk about Olympiacos. Olympiacos lost out yesterday after that result against, Leverkusen. We just kept at the Bay Arena. But meanwhile, Super Eagles defender Bruno Onyemaechi, who came later on in the game, during the closing hour, Medaliba introduced him, his team has bowed out, that's the word, out of the Champions League, and they were eliminated by Bayer Leverkusen after losing the first leg 2-0 in Greece. Olympiacos needed a strong response in Germany, but were held to a goalless draw at the Bay Arena. The stalemate ensured Leverkusen progressed 2-0 on aggregate. Olympiacos also enjoyed spells of possession and registered a few attempts on goal, but they struggled to break down Leverkusen's disciplined defense. The Bundesliga side, efficient also and organized, managed the game well to protect their advantage and secure safe passage into the last 16. But for Rafael Onyedika and also Onyemaechi, however, their European journey ended yesterday just as it continues for Lookman and his Spanish side Atletico de Madrid as attention now shifts to the next international window for the Super Eagles. Now you have the result on your screen. This is the kickoff. This is the way the knockout playoff second leg start. Atletico Madrid aggregate result. Okay, result says 4-1. On aggregate is 7-4. While we see Leverkusen 2-0. 0-0 yesterday. Goalless draw right there at the Bay Arena. And then 2-0 in aggregate to say. But the most shocking of them all, and hopefully today we'll be seeing another shocking result, is Bodo with a glinting a glimmer, got the better of Inter Milan 2-1 at San Siro. That's a shameful one for Christian Cable's side, I must say. And then, Eddie, how did you do it? 3-2 after 5, big margin right there at Qarabag, Azerbaijan's Baku. But this time around, they just made it 3-2. And who knows what would have happened if the time says more. Maybe would have gone Qarabag's way. Who knows? But football says like biscuits, some say you never know where it cracks from, but not for yesterday's game. Talk about the Newcastle game. But it continues today. I'll be seeing great football. So make sure you get glued to those games that will be coming up because we'll be seeing interesting matches as it unfolds in the Champions League. And we'll take you through quickly to the games that will play today. Atalanta will play Dortmund, welcoming them 6:45 Nigerian time. But I'll be saying Juventus will be hosting Galatasaray, and that's 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Don't forget the fourth result went the Turkey side way where Victor Osimhen did not score. So maybe hopefully today he gets a scoring terrain against the Black Canaries. And then Paris Saint-Germain will be welcoming Monaco, and that's like a Ligue 1 football. And then Real Madrid will be trading tackle with Benfica. That's like a must match we must see today. It will be a very big game. Vinicius Junior will need to steal the show this time around, just like he did it all the time. Or are we going to see Pablo Days doing what he loves to do so well? So this is the day, February 25th, 9 p.m. Nigerian time. The Champions League continues as you love to watch on your screen. But thank you so much for being part of the show. We go on a very quick break. When we return, the show continues. Which way Nigeria? What's the way forward? Every channel in the news. 130K US dollar. We'll tell them more about the stories. Don't go anywhere. Just be back shortly.
From the views on the street
we go to bed empty hunger
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. Apple TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Yes, welcome back from that quick break. It's time for us to delve into the very big one. The question still remains, we cannot make it to the World Cup. Some say yes, some say we cannot make it. But for me, if you ask me whose report do you believe, it's time for us to talk about the Nigerian national team. This one is scary, but we must talk about it. Amid ranging speculation over the Super Eagles' future, Nigerian Football Federation NFF Technical Committee Chairman Sheriff Inuwa Alhan has assured Eric Chell he will see through his remainder of his 2-year contract with the Nigerian Football Federation. Since the 2025 AFCON in Morocco, Eric Chell has been linked with various national teams and clubs, with the latest being troubled French Ligue 1 side Nantes. Moving on, however, Allan assured members of his committee that last week meeting in Abuja that the former Mali coach, or Malian coach you could call it, has a contract with the Nigerian Football Federation and he will respect it. The chairman assured that the Super Eagles coach will honor his contract, and so there was no reason to discuss the situation. Our source informed newsmen that the committee has already scheduled a meeting with the coach to discuss the way forward for the team. That's about Eric Chell. We are waiting to know which plan, how it goes on this very phase, if Eric Chell will remain on the job. So this is more like he must oversee his contract. You are not going anywhere. You'll stay with Nigeria. 1-year contract. You must oversee it. But we go on. Now, that's about Eric Chell. If it's about Eric Chell, then what's the fate of the World Cup? It's more like a political affair. But let's talk about this wage demand. Let's go to the next phase now. Eric Chell said he wants to earn $130,000 monthly And you need to also understand this money from this coach. What is demanded aside the 19 agenda is not just for him. It's for his coaching staff, the backroom staff, those he would be paying. If you understand this game, that's how it works. But moving on, the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, finds itself in tense negotiation with Eric Chelle. And this follows reports that emerged that the Super Eagles head coach has tabled a 19-point proposal that includes a proposed $130,000 monthly salary as part of the contract renewal to continue leading the Nigerian team. But you need to know this package or the package significantly higher than his current pay at around $50,000 US dollar per month. Also reportedly includes specs such as private transport with security, uninterrupted accommodation, power supply, and paid travel for family mateys and family members. But the proposal submitted in late January 26 has sparked debate in Nigerian football critical the situation at the circle, especially considering Chelle'S still has about a year remaining on his existing deal with the federation. However, this is what we have to look out for. How Eric Chelle'S demand compares with African top-paid coaches. Please, I want us to talk about this so we can understand. Let's talk about this. Look, let's become and understand this proportion, this talk point. 19-point agenda or demand might not be a friend to you. You might not like it, but want to do some, what's the word? It got me stopping, it got me thinking. We have to do this an analysis together. Let's do this. Now, to put the reported $130,000 in perspective, available estimates of coaching salaries across West African show. Let's do about a wide range with only a handful of national team bosses approaching or exceeding that level. Now, on the show today, we'll be telling you those managers so you can have it for yourself, so we can tell you, so you understand how this works. Some are saying, no, it's not doable. Some are saying it should be doable. We talk about how much some of these African managers or managers who are on the African shows, how much they earn. And I'll be telling you, so if we can compare or compete to that amount, how much is our coaches being paid? That's the question. Are they paid very well? Even with the $50,000, they are owed most time. And Eric Chelle has come to say what he was. This is like the first time I'll be sounding this way. But let's get into it now. Let's start with number one, Vladimir Petrovic, Algeria. He earns 135,000 euros. That's what he earns. So let's do this. And MFA, the Ivorian, MFA also is in the news. And MFA earns, Hugo Bruce for the first South Africa. Hugo Bruce earns 75,000 euros, right? MFA earns, that's Africa's coach, he earns around 75,000 euros. Walid Regragui of Morocco earns 70,000 euros, you can see. And then James Kwesi Appiah of Sudan earns 48,000 euros. This is the monthly salaries I'm talking about. Why Eric Chelle earns 46,000 euros. That's approximately 50,000 US dollar. So do your calculations well. You would understand what I'm saying. But based on those figures, Eric Chelle's current salary or wages, you could say, already places him above too many national team coaches across Africa. But his proposed increase of 130,000 US dollar per month would potentially elevate him to the very top of the continent's highest earners, revealing or even surpassing Algerian Petrovic. Now, let's talk about Super Eagles' investment. Let's talk about the performance. Let's talk about the priorities. Supporters of Eric Chelle, his supporters, position argues that modern coaches requires more than just tactics. It demands technology, it demands travel, and also scouting resources to stay competitive on the continental stage. Now, some analysts suggest that several items on the list, such as uninterrupted power strategy scouting trips and clear contractual terms for backroom staffs, are what? Overdue, long overdue infrastructural improvements rather than perks. And then distractors point out that Nigeria economy, realities, and recent augment target should temper expectation and then caution against setting a costly precedent. Many observers stress that federation leadership must balance ambition with sustainability, especially in an environment where domestic football structures often struggle with funding. Eric Chelle should understand how Nigeria works. And my fear is, if we say yes to this deal, can we continue? How consistent can we be? Can we keep up the job? Can we keep on with the money pay? It will be very disastrous, I must tell you. It's scary. Very scary. Now, what's next for Eric Chelle'S and the Super Eagles? As negotiations continue, both Chelle'S and the NFF have so far refrained from extensive public comment on this, on this news, on this specific demand, focusing instead on internal review process and technical committee discussion. And we must tell you, the Federation next step now will be closely watched amid Nigeria's preparations for the upcoming fixtures, and the outcome could influence both national team performance and broader debates over who will lead the team to the 27th AFCON tournament. Why do I feel this is political? Why? Before we tell the world the World Cup, what FIFA decision could mean for Nigeria, before we get to that phase, let me understand. Let me explain. I think Eric Chelle'S, Eric Chelle'S knows what he wants. He's shown at a global stage that he's got the pedigree to go on. Does he want to stay with the Nigerian team? Yes. Does he want an offer? If they can owe him $50,000, that's for the 6,000 euros, upwards $1 million, he gives you $50,000, then what can these Nigerian football people not do? But I don't want to sound like I'm supporting Eric Chelle'S. Neither am I supporting the Nigerian Federation, but I'm only saying, let's do what we can do. If we cannot do this, don't agree. But from their own perspective, they are saying Eric Chelle'S has no say. You must oversee your contract before you can even have a word with us. So it's more like a pressure on Nigeria and also on the Franco-Malia, but he's got nothing to lose, absolutely. What he has done with the national team recently at the just concluded Nations Cup shows that he has what it takes to manage a team. But instead of us focusing on the future, like I already said, the World Cup, let's keep it on the sideline. Focus on the next AFCON coming up. Because if we're not careful, we might continue talking, having this conversation. Time keeps going, takes time, we're not restructuring anything. Infrastructure still just dead on the pecking order. And at the end of the day, the World Cup comes again after this year, and we still would not make it. It's still possible. It's a possibility. I could rate it 90/100. Because this federation looks scattered, without due respect. They sound like they don't even have a project ahead of time. They sound like they don't even know what they want for themselves. Why is Eric Chelle'S salary demand and the rest of that a case for now? I think it's open for negotiation. I had a guest the other time last week or so. I think from Benin, Carrington Palmer, he said that's 19-point demand. The Franco-Malian expects Nigeria to come and negotiate. It's open for negotiation. We can talk about it. Why not? If you can owe him $50,000, then trust me, look at this thing we have on the screen. Look at this list. How can they see? When you look at this, how can they make it a possibility? Some of the things he states, some of the things he wants are not bad. Some of the things, just look at this, look at the list well, look at it very well. Some of the things the Franco-Malian wants is not bad because it's not just about him earning this. Even with the $50,000, he has to still oversee those foreign men you see. I'm not talking about Daniel Ogumodede and Fidelis Ileshiku. No, there are some backroom staff, there's some men you see behind the scene. Those foreigners, he pays them. He pays them from his own money. So this is how sometimes coaches' salary are talked about. So when we say $130,000, we're not saying Eric Chelle'S goes on all of this money, but these demands must be met. So is there anyone we cannot do? We should state it. Have a conversation with him. Now it's like two parties. It's not like Nigeria and NFF and Eric Chelle'S are now parting ways. It's not like they are not on same position. They are not in arrangement. They are not in condition. They are not having the same, they are not self-priority, not same priority. They are just working in different ways, and that's in shambles. So if this man, Eric Chelle'S, is under the Nigerian Football Federation or the NSC, whoever he's under, because I think it's Federation, NFF, then we should have a chit-chat with him. We should have a conversation with him. We shouldn't be having a lot of people talking. I just told you, different sources from the NFF are talking about Eric Chelle'S. It's just a lot. So, but I think the question is, should Eric Chelle'S leave if there's a better offer? I think the word is passion. It's about Eric Chelle'S personally. If I happen to be in the Franco-Malian's shoe, I will decide what I want. But if you can take up the Super Eagles job, you should understand what you want. But the question is, would Eric Chelle'S leave? Should he leave if there's a better offer on ground? For everyone who wants to grow, that's the truth. You must leave. But we have people who sees the future, because sometimes money doesn't really call like that. It doesn't give you that edge to be on the next phase. You might go for money and then find yourself wilding down the pecking order. Now, look at the plan of the Super Eagles. Do we have a structure? This is my advice to every child. I'm not going to sound Nigerian right now. I'm going to sound critically the way it is. Eric Chell to oversee, he needs to oversee. Look at the future of the nation, the national team. Is there a future with this team? Looking at the way the federation is understanding and manning the team. If there's no future and it gets a better offer, this is my advice, candid advice, take it to the bank. You need to leave Nigeria. Because everybody wants to be on a job that has a future. I want to be here because I see the future, and what you don't see, you can never get there. So if a Franco-Malian can open up his mouth and talk about his dream and say he wants to manage Real Madrid some of the days, sometime in the future, and you want to up your game, this is how it starts. I'm not saying it's rosy elsewhere. I'm not saying it's better than Nigeria, but it's about the foundation. It's about where the nation wants to be. If Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, does not want to be in the next phase on a positive note, then maybe Eric Chell should leave. It depends on who's coming. So I think the Franco-Malian has a job to do. He has to think. He has to think twice. Make your decision and then decide what he wants. Does he want us to negotiate? Maybe he wants us to negotiate. Who knows? But we're not even talking about what he's saying. We're only talking about his 1-year contract. So it's more like we are being like an eye-opener to him. So what happens when the 1 year is overdone or overdue, rather? Are we going to let him go? Do we want to throw him off? So it's a whole lot for the Franco-Malian to be thinking at this point in time. The NFF need to find a way. This is more like man management. I think they like this part of it. Not just about transparency and the corruption in the federation, but I'm talking about the way you manage people. You need to see, first of all in life, you need to understand people, personality, their traits, their attributes. When you understand people, it's okay for you. You now understand how much you want to give them the job. They don't even understand the manager. That's what it is. But let's go off that news and tell them more about the Super Eagles. What the FIFA decision could mean for Nigeria. World Cup 2026. People are still not sleeping. Everybody wants to be in the World Cup. Nigeria know they sleep. We want to be at the World Cup. Okay, let's see. We want to be at the World Cup. I understand that part. But Nigeria road to the World Cup 2026 remains unresolved. Suspended between appeal document and administrative timelines rather than results on the pitch. Online bookmakers across the world are closely monitoring the situation as they formulate their markets for the upcoming tournament. The sports book, featured on comparison platform, talking about this, will be forced to revise their anti-post odds if the Super Eagles are handed a spot in this tournament. Now, Nigeria, they are desperate to secure a World Cup lifeline. But I must tell you, the possibility of missing a back-to-back World Cups remain a sobering thought for a country ranked 26th in the world, stacked with elite-level talents. The three-time African champions are not short of pedigree nor recent evidence of progress. They reached the semi-finals without losing a match in the regulation time at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON, especially on this phase, eventually finishing third after a penalty shootout win over Egypt. And I must tell you, the midfield core of Alexi Wobi, Wilfred Ndidi and Frank Onyeka provided control, while Ademola Lookman delivered 3 goals with 4 assists. That means Nigeria have a team. But let's get on this right. Victor Osimhen, Calvin Bassey, Benjamin Fredericks, Stanley Nwabali also impressed during the Nations Cup, with several young players also making their mark. But the Nigerian players pool is one of the deepest of the continent. Talent has not insulated the squad from consequence. Failure to qualify for Qatar 2022 left deep emotion scars in our hearts, and another absence would land far heavier. But I want to advise you, I think the earlier we start taking off the World Cup into consideration is the best for us. Many sportsmen out there would not tell you this. I tell you, many people want to keep pushing it and pending and making it sound so nice and sweet so you can be hopeful that, yes, we'll make it to the World Cup. We did not do our assignment very well. We need to go back to the draw and make sure everything goes on well. We have games coming up. Now, let me even tell you how detrimental it could be detrimental to the nation side. We want to be out of the World Cup, but no one is talking about us right now. You know why? The body that governs the game, FIFA, recently we saw a post out there. New Caledonia will play against Jamaica. That's about it. I cannot playoff. Whoever wins that game will play against Congo, DR Congo. We did not see like Jacqueline Onoha, the lady we had on the show on Monday, Jacqueline. She talked about something. She said, when you look at that post very well, when you look at that page, you look at that fixture, you will not see DR Congo pending. No, it's not pending. It's not being even looking like, it's not even looking like there's a case here. It's more like it's a face. It's this way. New Caledonia, Jamaica, who wins here meets the Congo side. So I think it's best for us to start having a rethink. We could have a rethink about this, and then it's best for every Nigerian people out there who loves this game. Because Nigeria hopes now rest on FIFA ruling. So I think one of the mottos I like to say, personally, my motto says, hope for the best. Then you prepare for the worst. Because following the penalty shootout to Congo, we saw that one. The continental playoff is just another level. So FIFA, the petition, is what we are waiting for. Whichever way. Now you can see. You have it now. You can see for yourself. You can see part 1. You can see part 2. New Caledonia, Jamaica, waiting, plays together just to meet Congo DR. And we see Bolivia, Suriname, playing himself, and then who plays against Iraq? So there's no room for Nigeria. Maybe we want, I think it's about the Super Eagles, Nigerian fans out there. If we have our way, trust me, we have to, what we're going to do, we'll do worse. And the worst we can do is we're going to do what? We are going to just go close to that post and then erase. It's funny to talk about. And then we have to now erase the Congo DR and put Nigeria. Daddy says, you reap what you sow. What have we sowed? We want to reap it. It's just does not make any sense. The argument centers on the conflict between FIFA's nationality switch, and that's the regulation of DR Congo's own constitutional ban on dual citizenship. But according to NFF, FIFA was made so during the clearance process. We have General Secretary Dr. Sanusi Mohammed. He's been clear in the situation and then describing the situation. He said we don't have a case here. We've done what we need to do. We have to wait. We don't have to compromise. If FIFA rules in Nigeria's favor, then the Leopards of Congo would be disqualified and replaced in a playoff bracket. It will be also say that everyone is believing, move rest, I beg, move your rest. See, no one inside the camp is celebrating a lifeline yet. There is no guarantee of a resolution, nor a timeline, but Nigeria's case remains active, and belief persists that the door has not fully been closed. But special advice. You know, you can say the news says, but everyone has their opinion. That's why we have millions of Nigerians. So you stand your ground. You have your own opinion. My opinion says, let's take our minds off this one and focus on the future, because that would help Nigerians to project very well. If the 6-time World Cup attendees have been stated, the path forward is not easy. DR Congo are scheduled to meet either Jamaica or New Caledonia for the World Cup part, and then mini Nigeria will step into the tie if the result is overturned in their favor. But when would that be? Why is it taking time? The reason, let me even say it, the more reason it's taking time is the more reason why we have to stop thinking about it. Someone says the World Cup would not be interesting without Nigeria. Who says so? Who made the rule? Who's saying that? That's not true. I had fun seeing the last World Cup. Qatar was nice. Great to see Lionel Messi lifting that very trophy, Lautaro Martinez going off and then giving that Julian Alvarez that space to dominate. It was a nice World Cup play. We enjoyed what we saw. Morocco just showed African football that, yes, you know, so I think the most annoying part of this World Cup coming up, or the most painful part of it for every Nigerian man out there, for everyone who loves the game so well, is the fact that one thing is inevitable. We'll be seeing 10 African teams, 48-man format, no Super Eagles, then come on, there's no way. It's just, we are sorry. That's the word. So I sound very energetic because I'm already alive on this. I've already agreed. So I accepted defeat, which many Nigerian people are not doing. I think it's more like the fans are talking more than the Nigerian Football Federation are doing. All they can do is just to file up a case and then submit to FIFA. You wait for the decision. But why FIFA is putting everything on the sideline is the more reason why we should start thinking of something else and then focus. This is our federation. They like to waste time. They like distraction. They are so, this federation, NFF, I don't think there's anybody distracted than the Nigerian Football Federation. I say it with all due respect, but that's what it is. They are so distracted. Sometimes they might know the outcome of this will not fetch anything. Why are we still waiting? Why are we waiting? Think of something else. Many things are ongoing out there. We can be better off. Well, just so you know, let's talk about Nigeria's game coming up. Nigeria's senior national team, the Super Eagles, are set to resume camp on March 24 ahead of the Four Nation Invitational Tournament And then the competition serves as a high-profile preparation window as the team navigates a complex period of coaching, negotiation, and legal battles. Officials said the three-time African champion will utilize the March FIFA international window to face two World Cup-bound nations. All matches for the Super Eagles will take place at the 17,000 capacity Amman International Stadium against Iran and Jordan on March 27 and March 31, respectively. A senior team official confirmed the timeline to report, stating that everything is aligned with the FIFA window. Camp opens on the day, and this is how it is. How bad it is that Nigeria, oh goodness me, we don't turn team ready till they do rehearsal. Look at the quality you have on just look at the screen. This is the quality we have. But now they use the Duke friendly now. Nigeria and this national team, they use they do testing. Even Jordan. The last I saw the word Jordan, it was when I read my Bible. It was on Sunday service. Jordan. River Jordan even there, River Jordan. And things like, oh, is that bad? Is that bad? They use they do TOSP. Testing. That's where we fall in. Because we have the quality, but we only talk. And we don't put in a lot of energy and a lot of work. And that's how bad it is. But we say, and I must say congratulations to DR Congo. This is me. You know, if you understand the game, I used to bear the name Mbuku. I bear the name for a longer time because I love what Congo did. So I had to go to the court of arbitration to do a change of name because I wanted to be a Kizike Mbuku. And it turned out. But that name might have to come back. Let's see how it falls from here. When we go on this phase, let's go away from the Super Eagles news and tell them what's going on in the world of golf. Deputy Governor of Cross River State, retired Honorable Peter Ode, on Saturday performed the ceremonial tee-off at the 2026 Eastern Naval Command Golf Tournament held in Qarabag Golf Club. Speaking shortly after the ceremonial tee-off, the Deputy Governor, retired Honorable Ode, commended the Nigerian Navy commands and then commended the Nigerian Navy for its unwavering commitment to safeguarding Nigeria's territorial waters and also ensuring maritime security. He is described as one as a tournament as a commendable initiative, and also that promotes not only physical fitness but also mental resilience, as well as stronger collaboration between security agencies and the state government. Retired Honorable Ode reaffirmed the commitment of the Governor Otu-led administration to sustaining and sustaining cordial working relationship with security formation in the state. He noted that peace and security remain critical to the socio-economic development of the state, particularly in tourism investment and also commercial venue, adding that the state remains one of the safest subnationals in the country. In a remark, the flag officer commanding FOC Eastern Naval Command, Rear Admiral Chidozie Donald, emphasized on the importance of physical fitness, mental resilience, and social engagement in enhancing the operational efficiency of naval personnel. He appreciated the presence of the Deputy Governor and also other dignitaries, stating that the tournament provides a platform to deepen bonds of friendship and mutual respect between the Navy and the civil community. Let's go on and tell them more. Quickly on this very phase, still on the golf news. This is good to see. Njoroge Kibuko, a Kenyan international who called me Kenya superstar, achieved a career best on the DP World Tour last week while finishing T61 with the bar changed. Okay, now, when it goes on this one now, the highlight for the young man will have undoubtedly been his ego at 16 on Friday to make the cut. The 22-year-old praised the crowd for fueling him to the 18th and described his approach shot as perhaps one of the best 6 irons of his career. Out of 17 Kenyan players in the field, Kibuku was the only one to survive the cut at the Nairobi Karen Country Club. This victory also gives him bragging right for the foreseeable. He is not only now the highest ranked golfer in Kenya, but also the first local golfer to make the cut here since his brother Mutahi did it in 2023. And then moving on away from golf story, let's tell them more what's really transpiring in sports world. The boxing news. Nigeria female boxer Elizabeth Oshoba had expressed excitement and confidence ahead of her upcoming fight against Chelle'S scheduled for April 5 in the United Kingdom. Oshoba was featured in this very phase, and she will be featuring on the undercard of a high-profile clash between Karim Dubois and also Terry Harper, a platform she believes presents another opportunity to showcase her quality on the international stage. The International Boxing Federation IBF #1 contender will face Anel over 6 3-minute round, the same duration used in men's boxing, and also a format Oshoba says she has fully prepared for. Oshoba described the 6-round format as a challenge she welcomes, stressing that it aligns with her physical preparation and a fighting skill. The boxer also acknowledged the significance of fighting on a major UK card, noting that the exposure at the level could open the door for her to even bigger opportunities, despite the occasion. Oshoba insists her mindset remains so grounded. Now we talk about this African boxing news. NBF unveils Team Nigeria squad for the Maiden League. The Nigerian Boxing Federation, NBF, has unveiled the list of boxers to fly the country flag at the African Boxing League. The inaugural event will kick off in April and will feature proglays from over 20 African nations. In readiness for the championship, the NBF technical and tournament committees have listed 41 boxers to represent the country across the various weight categories. In the male category, we'll be having shortlisted players and also who will be doing this one for them in that golf world. You could call them golf fighters. I mean, boxing fighters, that's the word, sorry. Now, let's go off that one and tell you another headline that's also out there. This is about Nigerian artists. It's about Nigerian controversial singer Habib Okikiola Badmus, popularly known as Portable, spoken. He's talked this tape about the offer made to him by music executive Sobekan to participate in a boxing match with Kata Efe. The singer in a recent video explained that the amount offered was too small for him. Despite Kata Efe's readiness to accept the offer, Portable outrightly rejected it, stating that he has more conditions than the amount offered. Portable requested for a luxury car worth around 300 million naira, noting that he's confident he will win the match if his conditions are met. Now, let's quote the man, Portable. He said, 50 million naira is too little, it's too small. Give me 500 million naira plus a car worth around 300 million naira, totaling 350 million naira, and I will beat Kata Efe the same way I did to Charles Okocha and Speed Darlington, and I will do it mercilessly. That's about Portable. We don't know Portable boxer. Okay, we'll see how it goes. No dance track music, but wrapping up on this phase, we'll tell you what you need to know. I'll teach your lies on the story of this very one, and we are waiting for this lady to know how well she can go on in this one. But it's good to see our sports going. I think it's quite growing right now, I could say. It's growing, and then it's going the way we want it to be, because right now there's the news about the lady, Nigerian rising tennis star. Her name is Atilola. She has surged to the summit of the West African Under 14 rankings after an outstanding outing at the ITF CAT African Junior Tennis Championship in Algeria. The 12-year-old would secure the regional #1 position following the title winning performance in the first leg of the championship, a result that also lifted her to 4th place in the overall African ranking, and that's her highest continental standing yet. Atilola showcased remarkable composure and tactical discipline throughout the tournament. She powered through the first leg with dominant display, combining baseline accuracy with impressive cuts, coverage to the clinching of this trophy. And then lastly, this one is about Daniel Medvedev. In the foreign news, Daniel Medvedev has called for a streamlined ATP calendar with only Grand Slams and Master 1000 tournament offering ranking points through the Russian concedes. Top players are obligated to compete in the 4 majors and 8 master events, with the world ranking breakthrough reduced to 19 or possibly to 18 tournaments in 2026 after the men's body removed an ATP 500 commitment. And then world #1, or world #11 rather, Medvedev said if smaller events did not count towards the ranking, it would ease the pressure on players who have criticized the 11-month calendar. And that is all we have to give to you on the show. But remember, Medvedev said something that struck my mind. He said players push themselves too hard to be one of the top 8 to make the ATP finals in Turin. And he pointed out Helge Rune, who ruptured his Achilles in an ATP 250 event in October, is also looking out for this very one. But this is how we have to call it a close right here on the show today. And you've been watching Sports Republic show right here on Voice Audible Television, Lagos, Nigeria. It's time for us to go, but we have the media news coming up next, and then later tomorrow is a very different version of the day. We'll still give you more sporting news. And 5 p.m., do well to join the guys. Yes, our face, Jerry, you could say Jerry, our face. They'll be here on the show to tell them more, and that's 5 p.m. locker room show. But thank you so much. This is me signing out. Do have yourself a beautiful time. Good morning, and when it's afternoon, I'll say good afternoon. Stay safe.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy. Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Ọ bụrụ na m bụ ezigbo nwa afọ Naịjirịa, ka ihe m ga-eme pụrụ iche.
Nwanne m nwoke,
Adanne,
m ga-akwụ chim n'eziokwu, kwanyere ndị ọzọ ugwu ma lekọta obodo anyị anya.
gbam!
Ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m, obodo anyị bụ Naịjirịa ga-aga n'iru ma ọ bụrụ na anyị jikọta aka kwado ndị na-achị anyị ka ha mee nke ha, anyị ga-emekwa nke anyị.
N'ezie, ọganihu ga-adị ma ọ bụrụ na anyị na ndị na-achị anyị jikọta aka rụọ ọrụ.
Asaa bụ
Onye ndị na-achị anyị kwekọtara ha ga-eme ka obodo wee dị mma.
Igbo kwenu! Igbo kwenu! Igbo kwezuenu o! Ọ bụrụ na bụ ezigbo onye Naịjirịa, aga m eme na-edozi ụzọ anyị ụcha oge niile, na-akwụtụsi n'ụzọ eziokwu, na-emere ndị agbata obi anyị ebere. Ndị ọchịchị ga-arụ ụzọ ọma na-abịa, wuo ụlọ ọgwụ ọma na Anambra, mee Enugu ka ọ dị nchebe ihe n'abalị. Nkwekọrịta gọọmenti na nzaghachi ndị obodo, ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m bilie ka anyị bulie Naịjirịa elu. Nkwekọrịta ndị ọchịchị anyị ga-aza, ọnụ obodo anyị ga-eme ya. Ọ bụ nkwekọrịta anyị na anyị ga-eme ka Naịjirịa gaa nke ọma. Nchebe gburugburu mebe obibi onye niile, ndị ọchịchị ga-eweta ahụike. Ọ bụrụ na nrọ ọrụ ike mụta aka ọrụ, ndị ọchịchị ga-emepe ụzọ ọrụ n'Ebonyi n'Imo. Ọ bụrụ na nkwanye ugwu nye agbụrụ niile n'otu ndọrọ ndọrọ ọchịchị, ndị ọchịchị ga-ekpe ikpe ziri ezi nye onye ọbụla. Asa maka asa anyị jikọtara ọnụ. Nkwekọrịta gọọmenti na nzaghachi ndị obodo, ụmụnne m na ụmụnna m bilie ka anyị bulie Naịjirịa elu. Nkwekọrịta dị ọchịchị anyị ga-aza, ọnụ obodo anyị ga-eme ya. Ọ bụ nkwekọrịta anyị na anyị ga-eme ka Naịjirịa gaa nke ọma. Naijiria obodo mmanụ aṅụ na mmiri ara ehi na-asọ ụzọ ọma o ụlọ ọgwụ ọma o ebe obibi ọma o Igbo ndị ọma pụtanụ ka anyị yọleba onye agbakwara nke nwanne ya gbara let's go
Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu na Imo anyị na-ekwe nkwa na anyị ga-eso ụzọ asaa na asaa ndị na-achị anyị wepụtara.
Powered by National Orientation Agency.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice. Where power shifts its every headlines. News breaks and events happens. We bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
From the views on the streets
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lord.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice for the people.
Well, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Midday News and Voice of the People Television. I am David Edwin. First, the headlines. Governor Pueblo condemns attack on ADC members. Sixth hour attack, suspects apprehended by the DSS. Tunji Disu appointed acting IGP. U.S. Congress urges action on Christian persecution in Nigeria. Gunmen abduct worshippers in Ondo State. El Rufai fails to appear in court, trial adjourned. In the world of business, CBN lowers interest rates to 26.5%. And in sports, FIFA reassured about Mexico World Cup despite violence. In entertainment, Tony Abraham celebrates Mike Ezroye's performance in Oversabi Auntie. And now the news in full. Governor Monday Pueblo of Edo State has condemned the recent attack on members of the African Democratic Congress. He described the incident as an internal party crisis that was taken too far. Pueblo said the importation of thugs under the guise of party politics would not be tolerated. He warned that any attempt to foment violence in the state would be firmly dealt with. Gunmen attacked ADC chieftain at the residence of former APC National Chairman John Odigwe Oyegun in Benin City. The attack occurred shortly after party members welcomed former Labour Party governorship candidate Olumide Akpata into the ADC. Condemning the incidents, former presidential candidate Peter Obi said violence cannot be allowed to terrorize citizens. The ADC leadership also vowed not to bow to intimidation, calling such acts a threat to democracy. The Inter-Party Advisory Council has formally condemned the recent attack on Peter Obi, John Odige Oyego, and other leaders of the African Democratic Congress in Edo State. In a statement issued from Abuja, the council described the incident as a manifestation of political intolerance that threatens the nation's democratic order. IPAC is calling on both President Bola Tinubu and Governor Monday Okpebholo to ensure that those responsible for the violence are identified and prosecuted. The council noted that political disagreements should be settled through dialogue and democratic processes rather than through intimidation or the use of force. Details from the scene include reports of several vehicles with smashed windshields and gunfire directed at the residence of Chief Odige Oyego. This event took place following a political ceremony held to welcome new party members into the ADC, leading to a visible increase in local political tension. Edo State authorities, however, denied the allegations, calling the report false and misleading. They insist the state remains peaceful and committed to maintaining law and order. Meanwhile, the Department of State Service has captured the 6th suspect linked to the 2022 Owo church attack. Sani Yusuf had evaded arrest for nearly 4 years, making him one of Nigeria's most wanted fugitives. According to sources, Yusuf was arrested in Edo State's Igwosa community. He is believed to be a high-profile commander of the Islamic State West Africa province. The suspect has reportedly confessed to his role in the Owo church massacre. He also admitted involvement in other attacks, including the Suleja military barracks assault and multiple kidnappings in Kaduna State. Authorities described the arrest as a major milestone in the fight against terrorism. The DSS says it underscores their continued commitment to bringing perpetrators to justice. Moving on, Kayode Egbetokun has stepped down as Nigeria's Inspector General of Police. The presidency confirmed that his resignation, citing family considerations, was accepted by President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday. Following Egbetokun's resignation, Assistant Inspector General Tunji Disu has been appointed acting IGP. The president expressed confidence in Disu's experience and leadership to steer the force during this transition. Egbetokun, appointed in 2023, had a tenure marked by both achievements and controversy. Critics question his extended stay beyond the mandatory retirement age, though the police maintained it complied with his original 4-year appointment. The presidency says the next step is for the Nigerian Police Council to consider Disu's substantive appointment. His name will then be transmitted to the Senate for confirmation as the new IGP. Moving on, the U.S. Congress has recommended measures to address the escalating persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Lawmakers urged the Nigerian government to strengthen institutions, improve policing, and implement legal reforms to protect vulnerable communities. The recommendations include repealing Sharia and blasphemy laws in northern states, disarming Fulani militias, and supporting farmers' rights to self-defense. Congress also called on the U.S. to enforce sanctions and visa restrictions against perpetrators of violence. In response, Nigeria's federal government said there is no policy of religious persecution in the country. Officials emphasized that the country faces complex security challenges, including terrorism and communal conflicts, and reaffirmed its commitment to protecting all citizens regardless of faith. The Christian Association of Nigeria warned that repealing Sharia laws could heighten tensions. Instead, it advocates for a new inclusive constitution that accommodates all religious and ethnic groups fairly. Gunmen has attacked a celestial church in the Uso